Real pace. Charles Leclerc has coped brilliantly. He won in Spa. He wins in Monza.
Inside the 20, Cook is chasing Munster, yes!
Balotelli. Aguero. Staggering. Just staggering.
Before we jump into the podcast, first of all, I want to give a major thanks to our sponsor, City Tattlesall's Club, who have been an integral part of the life of Sydney. Founded in 1895 by a group of 20 bookmakers, City Tattlesall's Club is going to be amongst the largest and most prestigious clubs in Australia. Located in the heart of the CBD in Pitt Street, 198 Pitt Street, between Market and Park Street. The club stands today as one of Sydney's finest entertainment venues, and just want to give them a massive thank you for supporting us.
Get started, we'd just like to welcome our new major sponsor, Connection to Sport, which is written as CNX2 Sports, run by the great Luke Edmonds. Connection to Sports is a sports events management company that helps organisations build networks and relationships via sporting events. They are also members of the Corporate Concierge program here at the City Tarts.
Also like to welcome a major sponsor, Scape. Scape's Australia's best and leading student accommodation organisation in Australia across Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney. And thankfully, they've agreed to come on with the great Stephen Gaetanos, Parramatta supporter, jumping on and help supporting these three students that we are. Hey guys, welcome back to the Dose Sports podcast. Benny, Charlie, how are you boys?
Doing well, thanks.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. But we're joined by a very special guest today, Roosters legend Anthony Minichiello. Thanks for joining us, mate.
G'day boys, thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, definitely a pleasure. 300 game NRL legends.
Yeah,
so
it's good.
We're all pretty chuffed over here.
Yeah. Should we
Cool.
delve a bit into your career?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. Debuting at 19 at such a young age. What was that call up like, and how was the phone call or the reaction to that?
Yeah, it was the year 2000, so obviously that was the Olympics year. So the competition started, I think it was like 5 weeks earlier than when it should, because everyone had to make way for the Olympics and there's such a buzz around town that year.
Right.
So for the first 6 rounds of the competition, people could have 6 people on the bench, and Graham Murray was our head coach, and I trained pretty well. I was always a good trader, and I was doing pretty well in reserve grade, and he sort of just put me on the bench. I think it was round 4 or round 5, I think, against the Dogs at Allianz Stadium, and he didn't really give me an indication that he would maybe next week, and we'll get him beat by 20, I think. And he threw me on the last 10 minutes, and I was like, the game just was over. Like, I don't know, even if I had a run or not. And the next week, he said, I'm going to start you right wing. So that's when I felt that was my real debut, because I knew all week that I was playing. It was back at Allianz Stadium at home, so all my family were there. And it was a special moment, a game that you never forget. I remember my first touch or second touch it was. They were peppering our line, were defending our line. There was a grubber kick put in. I grabbed it in goal and I ran across field under the goal mouth to try and get out. And Jeff Tuvey come launching at me, and I actually just I bumped him off and ran over him. He was such a good tackle, and I ran over him. I remember Adrian Lamb just going, "Yeah, Minnie." I know, it was like a welcome to first grade. That was it. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, so would you say that contributes to Jeff Tuvey's voice, maybe his shoulder to the neck, and that's why it's so croaky now?
Yeah, you can put it down to that, my tackle that I bumped him off, yeah.
So just in the lead up to that game, those first couple minutes, would you say you were a player that would get really anxious before a match, or much more calmer and just kept to yourself and knew what your job was and you were settled before a game?
I was pretty calm. I'm a pretty calm guy overall, but obviously I was a bit nervous. That was my first grade debut. I just remember looking around, and you got Brad Fittler, Adrian Lamb, Brian Fletcher, Luke Rigerton, Jack Earlsgood, Richie Barnett, all these senior players. I remember Freddie come over and goes, "Mate, just do your job. That's all you need to do. You're here for a reason. You've been picked. You're in good form. Just do your job. Enjoy it." And that was a calming sort of feeling when Freddie said that as our captain. yeah, that was it. I sort of stayed in first grade ever since that, and had a wonderful year. We made the grand final in my first year and played a red hot Broncos side that they got us. So it was a pretty good year, I must admit.
Yeah, you was just naming some of those players. I just remember pretty much half of the team was in the Australian side. How was it to play alongside those players?
Oh, you just learn so much straight away. I think when I first come to the Roosters, Gus Gould was the head coach, and he did a great thing. It was every Monday, it was all grades training on the one field at East Larks. Right. So, you get to train with these guys that I've mentioned, Andrew Walker, Quinton Pongia, all these hardened senior players. And, that was awesome. You're a 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid, and you're training with these senior players in first grade, and you just learn so much. You just watch them and what they do and how they train. And, that was a good thing that Gus had going back in the late 90s. And, you just watch them and you try and sort of mimic what they do.
Yeah. Did you cop any sprays off Gus, or were you pretty lucky?
I think everyone copped a spray off Gus. It's one day he was like, mate, you're going well. The other day, he's off you. So he's awesome. He had such a good club mentality, and he coached me in Origin in 03 and 04, and I think, mate, he's one of the best Origin coaches out there. He's unbelievable how he can just pull a team together, motivate them, and get them ready for a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was it Gus that sort of established that Monday training session where you would all train together, or is that something that was already?
Yeah, no, that was Gus. Yeah, that was Gus for sure. I think he wanted everyone one day of the week, the start of the week, that to be in together, so young kids like us could feel how a professional trains and how they go about their business, and sort of lift some young guys up to maybe excel and play better themselves every week.
Yeah. Talking about Wimart Flosswood 2002, obviously winning grand final that year. How was the feeling of winning that grand final, and what was the week like after? What was the celebrations like?
The 6 weeks after, they were awesome. it was, it was such a good year. Ricky Stewart come to us in the start of the pre-season, and he challenged us. He said, we're not fit enough, we're not tough enough, and we ripped in at training. And we had a great mix of senior players and young players coming through. With the younger brigade, it was myself, it was Craig Wing, it was Michael Crocker, Chris Flannery, Shannon Haggerty. We had these guys that were just ready to go. And then we had great senior players as well, in Freddie and Rico and Fletch and Fitzy was in the middle part of his career. So Adrian Morley, obviously, he was unbelievable. So we didn't start too well, but then we had a good run in the middle part of the season. We had a few losses, and then we went 9 straight to win the comp, and we just sort of changed the way defence played back in the day. We had this rushing defence. Everyone was so fit. Everyone was getting 14 plus in the beat test, even front rowers and our bench players. So, we backed our defence and we backed our fitness.
Yeah.
And we played the Warriors, and it was a tough game in the first 40, but then we backed our fitness and we sort of rolled on and scored those points. And lifting that trophy, there's no better feeling. You start pre-season a year early for this moment, And now looking back at my career, I've been pretty lucky that I played in 6 of them and won 2. But you see players that have never been there or never won one.
Yeah.
So to win one at an early age at 22 was an awesome feeling. And the party was epic. Like, we come in back into Allianz Stadium and we jumped on a open air double decker bus, rolling into Bondi Junction, and just see people. All the streets are closed. Everyone was singing and dancing, and the bus rolls in, and we're cheered all the way through. And you come into the club, and it's just mayhem. There's people everywhere, and mate, that's what you play for.
Yeah. Who would you say best on ground is off the field in that team?
Oh, mate, we had some loose guys. We had some guys that could party. Like, I don't go too bad back in the day. I had Rico, Fletch, Freddie when he has a crack. Shen Hegarty was unbelievable. Like, we had a team of, like, when it was time to party, it was time to party. But when it was time to train, it was time to train. Like, we had all that sorted. So we could, Ricky really instilled that in us. He loved the beer himself, so he took us out regularly. In those days, that's what was happening. You have a beer after every game. Now it's different, it's much more professional. But after every game, or if you have the weekend off, you're on the beers and with the team. But we would always back up and train harder than anyone else.
Yeah, so how different was it, Ricky, coming in to coach in that year? Did he sort of carry over what Gus was doing, or did he sort of try and establish his own methods of coaching, I guess?
Gus was overseeing it at the start because Ricky come from under-20s coach. He had little experience. He won the under-20s comp with the Dogs and then went straight into us and won the comp though. But I think Gus was overseeing it for a year or two and helped Ricky out. But you could tell that Ricky was so competitive and passionate about coaching as he was when he was playing, so he was always going to make it.
Yeah, for sure.
So just on the Roosters as a whole, everyone knows the club now is super professional and develops young talent really well, and it's really about the brand and the good culture there. Do you think the way the Roosters is set up as itself played a big part in your longevity in your career?
Yeah, for sure. Well, in my early 20s, I just mentioned that we had a good time off the field, and then my body, I wasn't getting injured at all, but then my body broke down for 4 years at 26. So I really had to educate myself on nutrition and recovery and being a full-time professional on and off the field. And I think the club went through a transition period as well, because we had a couple of lean years there through those mid-2000s where we didn't go so well, then we went well, then we didn't go so well again. And when Trent Robinson came on board in 2013, we had a whole agreement that we were going to be full-time professionals away from the field, on the training paddock, and a lot of people just transformed their performances and were much more consistent. And then from that has just grown into a much more professional club. The Roosters have always been a professional outfit with Nick Politis at the helm. From the board level down. But I'm talking about mid-2000s where our playing group, I think there was a transition in the whole game, to be honest. Like, everything was slowly creeping into more professionalism, but some players and people were lagging behind a bit. Yeah. I found out the hard way. I got injured for 4 years. But that really propelled me into being a more professional and focusing on what really keeps you healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
Most definitely, yeah. So a year after you win that grand final, you make your debut for New South Wales. Could you give us a bit of an insight in that season and the lead up and your form in the lead up to you getting selected? Yeah,
so after we won the comp, Luke Phillips was our fullback at the time when we won. He retired. And everyone's like, why are you retiring? You're 29. He goes, mate, I'm 34. I've been lying about my age for years. So he retired, and we were at pre-season. We had Justin Hodges in the side as well, and Ricky Stewart come up to me and said, what do you think about playing fullback? And I went, oh yeah, give me a crack. I was fit. I wanted to get involved more anyway. He goes, I'm thinking about you or Justin Hodges. And I said, give me a first crack. So he thought about it for a day or two, and he goes, yep. So I trained the pre-season at fullback. And my first game was over in England, freezing cold in February, was the World Cup Challenge.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that was a great test straight up. But we towed them up. We won 38-0 and I had a good game. And that was it. That was the switch, the making of me being a much more better player, taking my game to the next level. And, thank Ricky for that. And that year I was just in great form. And, it was touted that it was obviously only me or David Peachy, David Peachy, Sharks fullback. So we paced off at the City Country, and I played okay. I didn't really have the best game, but Gus was the coach, and he picked me at fullback in 2003. And I remember getting a phone call from our football manager Brian Kennedy, and it was like, you're in. You're playing. You're got picked at fullback, and I was like, shit, this is it. This is the moment that you wait for, like you've been watching Origin as a kid all your life as well, and you dream about putting on the Blues jersey. And you come into camp, and now you're playing with Joey Johns and Mark Gasnier and Denny Badiris and Jason Riles.
Not a bad team to come into.
Yeah, it was an epic team. Tamana Taha, who had his best, and all these guys that are just at the top of their game. Then you experience how fast and physical a game can be, because that is the top echelon where if you want to test yourself, you play Origin. And I remember that was probably the toughest game, one of the toughest games I ever played. That game one was the opening of Suncorp Stadium, 2003, game one. Started the game pretty nervous, actually. I dropped 2 bombs backwards. Luckily, they weren't knock-ons, so I went backwards, and then I gathered my thoughts and ended up having a cracker. I ran for over 200 metres and I scored 2 tries and just hung around Joey Johns all night. It was unbelievable.
So we had a chat with Craig Wing, and he said a lot of the New South Wales training revolved around bonding sessions. So I'd like to know who your roommate was and if there are any good bonding session stories.
Oh, mate, back in the day, we used to go into camp Sunday night for a Wednesday week game. So you're in there for 10 days. So Sunday, Monday, and even sometimes Tuesday, we're just on the piss. Especially when Joey Johns was in camp. He was just leading the charge, especially Sunday and Monday. And they were fun times, Certainly can't do that now because the game's too fast and too physical. You got to look after yourself. But Queensland were doing the same thing, so it was all good. But we had some really good times where we would split up in the back and forward. Then we'll meet at another pub and have a bit of fun and enjoy the first couple of days in camp where things are pretty relaxed. But in 2005, I roomed with Joey Johns, and just the connection was unbelievable on the field. We had a cracker together for the last 2 games. Those memories create sort of bonds for life.
Yeah, for sure. Talking about Joey, 2005, obviously that game too is one of the best individual performances probably NRL's ever seen. You're talking about that lead up and coming in. I know Joey wasn't in; he's just come back from an ACL, I believe, and sort of was a bit of a turbulent lead up into the game. Talk about when he's come into camp. How was the feeling? And then obviously going into the game, did you feel like that blinder was going to happen, or was it just out of nowhere?
Yeah, for sure. That game one was an epic game up in Queensland where we lost in extra time and Brent Kamali should intercept to Matt Bowen. So Ricky brought Joey back in directly after one game of a 6-7 month injury and knee reconstruction. Everyone was on, mate, it's way too soon, no chance, he can't play well, he hasn't got the running in his legs yet. So I roomed with Joey, and mate, it was just as soon as he come into camp, I remember we were training at East Rugby one day, and he comes in, and it was just like a real calming feeling over the whole squad.
Yeah.
He just started barking orders, running the show, getting the game plan on point, and it was just like, Joey's back. Here he is, just from day one at training,
Yeah,
and I remember, we set up, and he loved his cups of tea, so I'd make him his cup of tea every arvo and sit in our room, and we would just talk combos and how he's going to work over certain players, and I want you inside here. Because he was a big thinker, Joey.
Yeah.
He would say, mate, tackle 4-1, just stay inside me, and he would work the same 3-4 players over. Then he'll have inside, outside support, go to the line and just inside with me or outside, whatever vision he saw, whatever he saw at the time, he would play the right move.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. That game was the kickback where he hit the post and I swoop on it to score a try. And I remember, this is game day, and where he's having a cup of tea, and he's like, mate, I want to do this kick. I'm going to keep punching in the corners. Slater's fullback, keep punching in the corner. He's going to hug that side, I'm telling you. And I'm going to kick back and try and hit the post. Yeah. And I said, sweet, mate, I'm there. Oh, mate, I'll chase it down. And it's during the game, and he's done the kick, corner. And there was tackle, I think it was tackle 4 when he kicked it. But I actually called for an inside ball because he's worked over a couple of players again, and I called for an inside ball, but he kicks it. He does the kickback, and I'm just steaming through. So, I thought I was going to receive a pass. and dang, it hits the post, like you said, bounces back to me, and I dive it and score. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Under that much pressure and in an Origin game, just to hit it on a dime, hit the post, probably that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, freak.
Yeah.
So in 05, Mini, you won the Golden Boot, so best international player in the world. And then in 06, you were a finalist for the sexiest man in league. Which one do you think had more of an importance on your career?
Yeah, definitely 06 for sure. That's funny. Yeah, 05. Yeah, I won some amazing awards that year, but I had probably a bit too much fun. That's when the body started to wind down, and I was getting signs of back injuries, and I ignored all those. And 2006 rolled around, and I only got 6 games out before the first back injury hit.
Yeah, right.
But good looking back now, so it was a great learning curve.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. We might jump forward. 2013, obviously Roosters win that grand final. If you could rank the grand finals, which grand final would you take over the other grand final?
Yeah, it's a question that I get asked all the time. Which one do you rate better? They're all amazing, no doubt. But I would have to say 2013, just because of those 4 years of injury and being out and on, and is he going to come back and play ever again? All that type of stuff, and then the hard work that was endured to get myself back on the field. My wife was there; she was heavily pregnant. So everyone was there, family was there, and to be captain as well. That's pretty special to lead a team out and lead a group of men to victory. It was probably the one I hold up there as probably my most savoured moment.
Yeah, for sure.
So I believe the year prior, 2012, I think you had one of the most shocking years. I think you came 13th or something. What was the biggest change between your 2013 season and the 2012 season?
Well, Brian Smith came in 2010, and prior to that we were overtraining, and he brought in a system where it was a much lighter preseason. It was all about feeling fresh going into games, and from those previous years of overtraining, our bodies recovered and we were sharp, and we made the grand final in 2010.
Yeah.
But we just didn't adjust our training hard enough in 11 and 12, and then we became underdone. So it's a very fine line of overtraining, being underdone in the NRL, and a good high performance coach will know how fine that line is during preseason. How can you push your players to a limit, then recover, and periodisation. Prior to Brian Smith coming in, periodisation wasn't even around, Now the whole pre-season is periodised and making sure when's a hard week to load up and when to recover. So Brian Smith brought that in, but then we were underdone because we didn't train as hard. Yeah. And then, Robbo come back, and, we had long discussions when he was over in France about how I thought that we were under-training. We weren't, training as hard, or not hard enough in certain parts of our fitness.
Yep.
So Robbo come back, and we had a tough preseason. It was tough, but by the end of it, we were fit and we were ready to go. And it was a massive year for us. Like, it was a record year. Like, we held 16-0, which has never been done before in the NRL. We won the minor premiership, won the premiership. We beat Manly 5 times that year. We played him in a trial. We played him 2 times in a regular season. We played him in that epic first game that was only 4-0 in the semi-finals. It was so brutal. Then we played him again in the grand final, and we got him all 5 times. It was an unbelievable year.
Wow. Talking about 2013, I think Sonny Bill's in that team. How's his influence on a team, and is it as hyped up as the media claim it is, or is it just even more?
Well, we made some big signings that year. Obviously, Sonny was the biggest. Then we had Jennings. Then we had James Maloney. But, you speak to anyone about team sport, that doesn't mean a thing. You still got to come together as a group and develop a winning culture. We didn't have that the year before. We come 13th. Yeah. So we revamped everything. And Robbo was a great leader in that aspect. And then he let us lead as leadership boys within the team, drive those standards that we all set ourselves. So we had to really work on being, as he said, full-time professionals. And Sonny was and still is a full-time professional. He was in there doing his pre-abs before training, and he led lots of all that stuff, and a lot of those Kiwi boys and other boys followed. And as I mentioned before, the club was going through a transition of being much more professional, and Sonny certainly helped that side of it, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
So moving on to 2014, I believe that was your last year playing NRL.
Yep.
What's the retirement life been like? What have you been up to now that you've been retired?
Well, during that time, I already had Minifit set up because I sort of started to plan a bit after my injuries. Yep. But 14 was a great year. We sort of shot ourselves in the foot a little bit in game one of the semi-finals when we lost at Penrith.
Yep.
And put us on the south side of the draw. And South were they were ready that year. But I think if we beat Penrith and met them in the grand final, it would have been an epic grand final. That's all media, every fan wants a South Roosters grand final because the tension would be unbelievable. So we stuffed up that year, but it was no doubt it was still a good year. We finished minor premiers, and my last ever game was against South, and my last ever touch where I scored a try and the bell went, and that was it. So that was pretty cool as well.
Talking about, you're a one club player, and were you ever approached at any point by another club, or did you ever consider leaving the Roosters?
Well, the first part of my career, there was a June 30 deadline, so you weren't allowed to negotiate with any other club before that date.
Right.
So my first 4, 5 contracts were always signing up before that date because the club wanted me to sign up before that date. I wanted to sign up before that date, so there was no negotiation with other clubs at all.
Yeah. But
towards the end of your career, obviously, things are slightly different. To be honest, I never got down to the nitty-gritty with any other club. There was an opportunity to go over to England, but that was really about it, to be honest. And my last 5 years of my career, I did 1-year deals with the Roosters every year. Yep, we'll go again. Yep, we'll go again. So we had that trust built up from, they supported me through my injuries, so I wanted to repay that loyalty back to them. And it was just, 1 year, so Nick, yep, we're ready to go again. 1 more year, yep, bang, bang. That's how it happened. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, wow. We might go into a bit of some lighter stuff. As one, you've got, we like scenarios on this show. We love a good scenario. You've got to take 3 fellas on a night out, 1 current player and 2 former teammates. Who are you taking?
Cool. Okay. Well, I would definitely take Brett Finch,
yes,
Brian Fletcher, those 2, and then a current player.
Victor?
Current player. Victor will be fun. I was going to throw in Mitchell Pearce.
I can see the headlines already with that.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think we'll get through the night.
If you took Victor, you wouldn't get to the destination.
No, that's true. Too funny.
Should we move on to our top 4 players?
Top 4. So I think all 3 of us, we've selected our 4 best players we've probably watched over the last 10, 15 years.
Oh, yeah. I've gone one outside, but...
Yeah. We're just looking for your thoughts on who's got the best list in your opinion.
Yeah,
okay. Let's hear it.
Always arguments on who's got the most NRL knowledge, and I think by having you here, we can officially settle who's got the most knowledge here. Benny, you want to kick it off?
All right, so I do have a Minichiello on the list, and it was Mark. But I'll change
That's a fair shout.
Don't want to do anything wrong. So I've gone number 4, Benji Marshall, 3, Cooper Cronk, 2, Jonathan Thurston, and number 1, Cameron Smith.
All right. That's a good list. Charlie?
Yep, I've got 1 as Cameron Smith as well.
Yep.
Number 4, Billy Slater.
Yep.
Fullback. 3, Jonathan Thurston, 2, Cooper Cronk, and then 1, Cameron Smith.
Nice. And I've gone... Minnie, you've just missed out. You're a number 5 on this. Number 4, I've gone Joey. Number 3, I've gone Billy Slater. Number 2, I've gone Wally Lewis. And number 1, Smith, purely because 2 stories I heard about them. One, Fatty Vorden tells, and one Luke Lewis tells, I think, when they're both playing for Australia, a kick gets, they're returning a kick, and Cameron and Wally say to Luke and Fatty respectively, I'm getting the ball to you, tackle 4, just wait on, you're going to hit a hole, just trust me, just wait on my inside. And the play goes on and they keep drifting out, and then tackle 4, they hit a hole, and Luke Lewis runs 60 metres, Fatty Vaughan runs 60 metres in, and just that vision to be able to predict what happens 4 tackles later, I think that puts them up at 1 and 2 for me.
Yeah, 100%. Pretty good list for all of you. Look, I have to have Joey Johns in my list. He's my number 1.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to go with the last.
Yes.
The last 4.
There it is. No arguments there.
I could maybe possibly swap out Wally for Thurston, but Wally's a good shout too. Yeah. I'll probably, out of those lists, I'll probably have to go with the last one.
Yes, thank you very much.
Caused a lot of controversy there, I'll be honest.
So you're saying Joey's your number 1?
Yeah, my Joey's my number 1 for sure. The 3 best players that I've played with, Joey, Lockie, and Freddie.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Joey is a big thinker, and like that story you just said, that's what he did for me and other players.
Yeah.
Lockie was he just glides across the field. He was unbelievable. He would put you on an overlap in a simple block play, I would say 8 or 9 times out of 10, just because he can skip to A, B, C in a heartbeat and create that overlap.
Yeah.
And then Freddie was a big instinct player. When the big guns needed to come out, he would just instinct and find something, score a try to win the match, stuff like that.
For sure.
So those 3 were my best players I played with. And then, they were obviously the era before Cameron Smith and those guys. But, Cameron, he's got to be on everyone's list.
Yeah, for sure. I think when you're talking about Lockyer, it's crazy how he was probably the best at fullback at his time, and also the best at 6 at his time. Just shows how good he was, really.
For sure.
And now currently we've seen, you would say Tedesco the last 2 or 3 years has probably been undoubtedly the best fullback he's been. But with the recent form of Tom Trbojevic, do you think Tommy is sort of competing for that best fullback in the game spot? Or do you think Teddy's...
No, I got asked this question the other week as well. And, for me at the moment, Teddy's still the number 1. I think he's been consistent over the last 3 years. And I look at consistency year after year, not week after week. And the only thing that's brought Tommy down is just his injuries.
Yeah.
But seriously, like the way he's playing, he is unstoppable. He's doing just one-off hit-ups and scoring tries. He's just... he's treating them like flies. He's an absolute freak. I love watching him play at the moment. Again, they're the key for the Blues. The outside back. That game 1 was unbelievable. I think the first set went Teddy, Trbojevic. Just went bang, bang, bang. Did the whole set themselves.
Yeah.
That's just 2 amazing players.
Yeah, they're guns. I'll just have another question about your international career. So obviously playing for Australia, but also got to play for Italy. Was that a really special moment for you?
Yeah, it was awesome. In 1999, before I even played first grade, I remember playing for Italy, and we tried to make the World Cup over in France and America, and we got pipped by Lebanon, and we didn't make it. And then I went on to have a good career playing for Australia and the Blues. And then towards the end of my career, they come and ask me again to be captain and try and make a World Cup, which I'd never done before. And I said, let's do it. So we went over to Serbia. Where we go? We went to Italy and Serbia for the qualifications. Great trip. Yeah. And again, we faced off against Lebanon in the last game, and we had to win. And it was actually an epic game. We went out to 18-0, and then the second half went to 18-all. And they kicked the field goal, went to 19-18 with 2 minutes to go. Then we kicked the field goal, and the game ended at 19-all. But because we beat Russia by more, it was the for and against countback, and we won the for and against. We were higher than Lebanon, so we got through to our first ever World Cup. And then I captained the World Cup the following year over in England, and we had a ball. We actually had an historic win. We're running a trial as a practice match, but we beat England 15-14, and that was huge. We thought we won the World Cup, so we went on a 3-day bender, and things went downhill from there. But we won the first 2 games and had a draw the second game. So all in all, it was a successful World Cup.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, been pretty good. Well, we'll go into our final segment here with you. It's called Overdose or Underdose. It's basically...
The sound's just gone a touch, boys. I can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear us now?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. We're going into our last segment. It's called Underdosed or Overdose. Basically, underrated or overrated. But we've just changed some words there. So we're just going to put out some players, put out some sports, put out some clubs, and you have to go underrated or overrated. You can't say correctly rated.
Okay.
All right. Nathan Cleary.
So what do you mean? I can't, he's not overrated. He's a freak.
Yeah, so, is he underrated or over... you've just got to pick.
Or is it on the money? The way he's hyped up at the moment, it's definitely fair play.
Yeah, 100%.
100%, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You reckon best 7 in the comp by a fair stretch at the moment?
Yeah.
He's playing unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you reckon Reece Walsh's hype is underrated or is he overrated?
A little bit overrated at the moment, so we'll find out shortly.
Yeah, Sunday.
Do you agree with his selection as the Queensland fullback?
I think it's great. I think Green's looking for some sort of spark that he could give them, but Origin's a different beast. If they put pressure on him, then who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, so if you're in Paul Green's situation, would you pick him at fullback or would you wait?
I wouldn't have. I would have waited.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Fair enough. They're cool.
Next one, the Gold Coast Titans, are they overrated or underrated?
I think they're overrated, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with the players...
Justin Holbrook's brought the players in. I think, personally, I reckon it may take another 12 months or a good pre-season to see the team gel together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Their defence needs a bit of work. Sam Walker, overrated or underrated?
No, he's going to be a freak.
Yeah.
His vision is ridiculous.
Talking about the last few weeks.
Will you slide into the next contract negotiations with him and give him a little nudge and tell him that he could be a 300 gamer for the Roosters as well?
100%.
Sell the deal,
yeah.
Minnie, are you across any other sports or yeah?
I like all sports. I can't say I follow any other sport religiously.
Yeah.
But I love sport.
Are you across the Bryson versus Brooks Koepka beef?
Sorry, I cut out. Say again.
Are you across the golf, the Bryson DeChambeau versus Brooks Koepka?
Oh, no, I'm not actually.
I was going to ask you which side you're on for that one.
No. Sorry, boys.
No, it's all good. We'll go into final thing, predictions. State of Origin Game 2 prediction.
I think it'll be a much closer game, but New South Wales won the 12.
Yeah,
on the 12.
New South Wales won 12. Charlie, what are you going for that one?
I was going New South Wales 13 plus. Even though it's at Suncorp, I think the New South Wales team on paper is
so much better.
Yeah, they are so much better.
Yeah, I reckon New South Wales probably 8 to 14 points in that bracket, and maybe a man of the match performance from James Tedesco or Jerome Luai.
Jerome, that's interesting. I'm gonna back my boys. Queensland 1 to 12. Cameron Munster man of the match, even though it's not going to happen.
Well, he has to fire if they win.
Yeah, for sure. Your grand final prediction. Who do you reckon will finish up in the grand final?
To be honest, I think it's going to be the same as last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penrith, Melbourne.
And do you think Penrith get the edge over them?
I think Penrith wins this year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. See that happening.
Oh, it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a Western Sydney grand final. But
Paramount.
I don't think Paris can get there. They just always fall at the last, towards the end of the year.
When you look at that team versus like a Melbourne or Penrith, you just can't say that they're going to beat them. You don't have the confidence.
No, you can't. No, you're right.
I think the only team I can see sneaking in besides Melbourne or
Penrith
is South Sydney.
Yeah.
I think if
Yeah,
Souths get
I agree.
defense right, I think the weapons they have is just
Yeah,
it's
that
a
left
different
edge is
beast,
pretty
yeah.
potent.
Yeah, I think, Melbourne, Penrith. Hopefully Melbourne win. Dally M prediction. Who have you got for your Dally M?
Oh, I've got Cleary to take it out.
Did it just cut out? Sorry.
Nathan Cleary.
Oh, Nathan. Yeah, Nathan Cleary.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop. I don't think anyone's going to run him down at the
I think
moment.
Turbo.
No.
I think that.
Well, Turbo was making a run, no doubt.
Yeah, I think the thing that Turbo has in his advantage is not many players will take points off him at Manly. I think.
Well, that's a fair call too, because Penrith has some great players that sometimes will get spread
Yeah.
the points.
Yeah, that's.
But I think Cleary's, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be tough. Well, I mean, it'll be good to see that battle
Yeah,
evolve.
See who takes it.
Yeah. Anthony, thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving up your time. It's been a pleasure having you.
No worries. Yeah, well, good chat, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks
Vinny.
very much, Anthony. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Have
Give me a
great night.
dose. Give me a dose. Gary Rowan, most clutched in the AFL. Showing touch on the ball. Only two players have kicked for two different clubs after siren.
It's been pretty clutch when he's done as well.
Yeah,
The
that was a
Essendon
good game.
The
Yeah,
Essendon game, and then against the Doggies on the weekend. 45 out.
that's pretty good.
I'd slot it 5 out of
Oh,
5.
oh. Should we get that on video?
I'll slot it.
Strong you down at the park.
Clutch as fuck.
Give me a dose, Shaka.
Yeah, give me a day.
Give me a dose. That's awesome. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
US Open. John Rahm. Give me a dose that COVID is performance enhancing.
COVID is performance enhancing. We saw, was it some event, he was 6 shots up.
Hey Chuck, get closer to your mic. You can hold it there. Yeah, how good?
No, that's why, the Chinese swimmer, Yun Tseng,
Oh yeah.
I reckon he wasn't taking growth hormones. They'd injected him with COVID.
Yeah.
And now they're like the whole time, but he got done too early.
Oh,
So they were waiting for him to peak.
bit of conspiracy. See, you're trying to say COVID.
I'm
was,
saying the Chinese government's dropped COVID
I said this as
into
well.
Hyun Sing. What's his name? I don't know. His name.
Saying
I don't know. The fucking cheating dog.
yeah.
And they've given him COVID ages ago. That's when he beat Mac Horden, and it's performance enhancing. And they were preparing him for this
Mac
Olympics.
Horden was fuming because he didn't have.
He didn't have COVID. At
I
the
mean,
time.
he hasn't made it this year. Rip Mac Horden.
Yeah, because he doesn't have COVID.
Did Cody Simpson make it? Side note.
I think so. Yeah,
he has COVID.
it must be.
Must be.
Must be.
Makes sense.
I
Anyway,
don't think Cody Simpson made it though.
no, he
No.
did. I'm
Did
pretty
he?
sure he did.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. I saw
Apparently, he was shit at like the qualifiers before the actual qualifiers. Like he was
Oh,
like a couple seconds off.
no, because I saw on Fox Sports that it's like he made it. It made it seem like he made it.
What
So-
about Sam Fricker, the TikToker?
I hate that bloke with a patch.
Hi guys, it's Sam.
If you're listening, I hate you. I don't know why. I just hate you.
good on him.
Nah, he's an entrepreneur. He makes environmentally friendly straws.
I
'Cause
don't
you know all
care.
those straws that like
His
penguins
TikTok
swallow.
is so bad.
Yeah, I know his TikTok's pretty. Yeah.
We diverted there very quickly.
Yeah. Well,
COVID. Performance enhancing.
John Rahm.
Big yes.
John Rahm,
Yes.
what a performance from him.
what
We
he was 6 shots up at some event. I don't think it was a
The Memorial 2 weeks
Memorial.
ago.
Yep. And got pulled out because of COVID. So
Yeah.
that
You wanna
set
hear
him back about 2 mil.
Oh,
Well, I
just
mean,
a bit.
I reckon it just came down to his short game because he's been such a magnificent short game player for such a long time.
Is that reference to his backswing because it's fucking short?
Sure, that's what I thought.
But
But I
no.
thought Strong was trying to make a penis joke or something like
Nah, I was just trying to see if he has a good short game.
Nah,
He's got-
his putting, his
he's-
putting's
he's-
good.
Yeah, so his short
on-
game's elite.
Sure.
Putt on 17 and 18.
Mate,
if we're talking about clutch,
That is clutch.
20 footer to basically win him the US Open.
You want to hear some fun
Talk
facts?
about 20 footer. What about that bloke, the golfer? What's his name? I always forget it.
Greg Norman.
Greg Norman, the
He,
shark.
has got a 20 footer.
He's got a shark down there.
not Greg Norman, bloody hell.
John Rahm.
John Rahm, first win in PGA Tour at Torrey Pines. Gets married at Torrey Pines. First major at Torrey Pines. I think he's got a bit of connection there.
I think the kid's got to be
Send it
named
into
Tory.
that
Yeah,
Like-
start send everyone. If you're listening, send us in like your weekend sports best moments.
Yeah, and
please,
we'll repost it.
We'll repost it and we'll have a chat about it.
Yeah.
Best one. We'll probably send you like a voucher or something.
Yeah.
Johnny will give you 2.5% of his trust fund.
So you're getting nothing.
So you're getting
So
about
you-
$3.4 million.
You're set for life. If you
Okay, let's just get this narrative straight. I'm not that well off. Like they made it seem like
it's about the people you surround yourself with. Johnny thinks
Exactly.
he's not well off. He's surrounded with people well off.
Yeah.
Um,
Talking about well off Chucker. He's balling. You should see his house.
Speaking about well off, Djokovic after winning Roland Garros, is he the most hated sports person in the world?
No, he is my
fucking
favorite
hate-
tennis player.
No,
Look,
Because he's a villain. I love the villains in this game.
he like
It's Gronk.
if tennis was just tennis, like the way he plays, it's if you're a junior, you'd try and
Yeah, mate. That
mirror
his
your game
technique
off
is
him.
perfect.
Yeah, and his footwork, his ability to get around the court.
Yeah.
It's second to none.
That was
But-
a great final. That was a good
it's
final.
just the way he carries on. I remember that quarter he won against Berrettini. 4 sets, won pretty comfortably in the end. He
And
carried
he's
on
fucking
like a
carrying on like a pork chop.
Pork chop.
pork chop.
A grade.
A grade pork chop.
A grade.
A great dickhead, I reckon.
Yeah.
But we got to clarify when we
it's-
talk about a player, we're talking about them as a player, not as a human being.
He probably Oh, to be fair,
As
like
a player, there's nothing
right,
wrong
no,
with
as a
him.
human, he was like anti-COVID as well. Like he was like COVID doesn't exist, and then he
Yeah.
got COVID.
And he's the head of the tennis professionals
Yeah,
association,
the breakaway.
Clint Newton.
basically wanting the pros to be paid more.
Or he wants pros to be paid more, and he doesn't want women to be paid the same as the men.
Yeah.
That's some major things.
Look,
You got any thoughts on that, Johnny? You're smiling a lot.
Yeah, look,
Are you
my
assessors?
thoughts on that is that they shouldn't in majors because they don't play 5 sets.
Or you just give
I
him
don't think
5
it matters
sets.
because it's bums on seats and it's eyes on screens, and if that's not affected, their pay shouldn't be affected. But
Yeah, I'd give him
in
5
terms of
sets.
Djokovic being the most hated, it's just because he's that good.
I reckon he's
And,
up there.
and he's
He-
and he's
Bit of Cameron Smith fever about him, you know what I mean?
no, but it's because like the other greats, the Rafas,
Yeah.
the Murrays, the Feds, they're all
People,
class,
people persons.
class
Yeah.
humans off the
Proper.
court, and
Proper, yeah.
you debate that he's not.
Going back to A grades, Bryson DeChambeau, your man, bit of an A grade for. He sent us Tucker sent us a little text in the chat, giving a little thumbs up when he's predicted Bryson halfway through, and he's a little collapse. Do you think he's a bit of an A grade for doing that, or do you think you like the way he plays, just keep trying to keep bombing it?
I think I've jinxed him
Yeah.
personally. I've basically done the call too early. You've gone, Bryson's done nothing.
Yeah.
US Open
Yeah.
on day one, and I've given the little thumbs up like you're a fucking retard when you're solo leading.
Hey, my boy
after the knife hole, and then
Brooksy kept it gun in his head for sure.
I didn't mind it that he tried to chase the lead. I know he shot like a 6 over in the end, but
But
he was chasing the lead. So
No, but he was leading that point. At that
I know,
point,
I
you
know.
start playing
yeah,
a little bit more conservative than that.
yeah, I agree.
That one hole, he was proper chopping it. That when you look at the shot tracer, that's us playing that
that's me playing 18.
hole. That beef, the commentators are trying to really hype up that
One
beef.
of them refused to be in the
Yeah, Bryson, because he's an A grade. Bryson refused to be in a group with Brooks on the opening 2 days. Do you still like him or no?
I love him. Like,
Jeez, you're
Is that
a
the one I
I
like?
think
no, you like
It
the
shouldn't-
one. The one who's not an A grade.
Bryson's the big guy that's beefed himself up.
And Brooks is the one is like a frat boy who
I
doesn't.
can't even remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but I think it would be good for golf to pair him up.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Did you see that little when Brooks was giving another interview? Bryson did a little star jump behind his interview on the way through.
yeah.
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 Good for him.
What
Maybe a
about-
little
I don't
main
know.
event boxing. We see YouTubers box now. Why not golfers box?
Golf.
I'd
That'd be
pay-
very good. I would watch that
I'd
for
pay a bit
sure.
of money.
Because they're actually athletes as well.
And they're similar weight.
Yeah.
Oh, like another one. Give me a dose. Would you sign TPJ?
Yes, but I don't think Tigers should.
See, I think they should.
No. Tigers need a Dale Finucane for sure. I reckon they should
Oh, yes.
throw the kitchen sink at
Nah, I
Dale
wouldn't.
Finucane.
No, he's 29.
No, but it's not about.
No, I'm just saying, like your team, like in the NRL, what teams do you think should Like, would you sign him at your club?
If he would excel at a Roosters or a Storm or a Panthers because they can sort of instill the bad, like get rid of the bad stuff.
System's already
Yeah,
there.
the
I
system's
reckon
already
Madge
there.
has got the system though.
No, you can't say he's got the
Well,
system.
how can you
if the
say he's not? He's
system-
one of-
if the system is losing the dressing room,
Yeah,
well,
well,
he's got that
Nah,
system.
I don't think
No,
he's lost
you
the
can't say he's
dressing
lost the
room.
system. Like,
He's got a system.
well, your system's not getting you into the top 8.
Yeah, he's only been there for like
So it's a
2.5
shit
years
system.
though.
Oh, he's been there for a few. But anyway,
No,
it's
yeah,
also
it's-
Madge has also inherited a few bad things.
I would.
but-
I think it's a good signing. In fact, I would go Dale and TPJ, but I'd be much more. I understand like the argument getting Dale at a club like the
'Cause
Tigers,
you need-
but I'm more inclined to get TPJ. I think the upside's way bigger.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the upside is definitely there.
You need-
and obviously Tigers see that upside, but
you need, at this point, you need to look long term for a club like Tigers. Like,
But Dale's 29. Like,
yeah, I
that's
know,
not
but
very
in terms of long
long-term.
term, he can bring that system in, like, and bring that training ethic. He'll be leading at training, leading off on and off the field for sure. Compared to TPJ, where he's coming in and you don't know what you're going to get with TPJ really, but you know what you're going to get with Dale Finucane. You know what he brings on and off the field. And Tigers don't need a quick fix; they need a long term fix, which I think Dale Finucane is the man for that.
Nah,
you need a role model.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
that
get
role
that.
model's not
TPJ.
hang out with bikies at the hairdresser. Your role model's got to be sort of trying to replicate that system they have at Melbourne.
Team, but I'd be inclined to get him
But
I think-
TPJ, obviously, he's a fantastic signing if you can.
if you can get him right. If anyone can get him playing consistent footy, that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Yeah,
Like,
Because
but
I
I don't. Yeah, I think once you get him playing consistent footy, he's fantastic. But I don't think Tigers as a club
Yeah,
to do
teams have
oh,
sort
we'll
of
see, boys.
Is he-
cashing in on.
that. Is he coming?
He's very close,
Very
but
close,
I don't think 66 to 16 helped.
Yeah,
I don't think that helped at all.
Because who else would be chasing?
No, well, he did say he's out.
Shooks.
Like he's
Yeah,
he's out
yeah. He
so
knows he's gone.
Yeah.
He knows he's in the
And
next 3
I
years.
don't think he has much of a choice of where he wants to go. He doesn't have
Imagine
luxury.
that.
Shooks don't get compensation for Cordner or Friends
Yeah, I
because
know.
they're both in the last year of their contract.
Imagine that second row combination: Crichton, Radley, TPJ for Oogies. That's deadly.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if you'd let go of Satilli though.
I'd rather.
Satilli's a first grader.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking good, like, I'd say he's easy top 10 second rows in the comp comfortably. Closer to 5 than he is. He's closer to 5 than he is to 10. I'd say.
Silly.
Satilli.
Tilly.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
So
He wouldn't- he's a
TPJ or
First grader.
Tilly.
um
Long term.
like Satilli's at the Chooks already. You wouldn't,
Yeah.
you wouldn't
yeah,
try
you
and
would,
throw,
I don't think you'd ship
maybe.
him
throw
off. to
cash
get-
at someone to replace him.
Yeah, and Satilli would be on less money.
I think
Fair that.
there's a market for purchasing players that are either out of form or whose values have dropped, and I think TPJ is someone whose value has dropped. And if you can get the most out of them, you're definitely cashing in on that salary cap.
Yeah, for sure. Talking about TPJ, should we jump into the Broncos? Into the round
Broncos
review?
South.
Broncos South. Let's do it.
Yep.
Pretty disappointing. Not gonna lie for the Broncos. I think every week I sort of think Broncos. They actually they can do it. But
I just think the team they field each week's just getting
Just-
considerably worse.
I don't know.
Like
It's
Carmichael Hunt and Tyson Gamble in the halves. I'm sorry, but like, what is that?
What's Carmichael Hunt doing being picked? Like,
I mean
I
that.
don't-
I mean
he's
that just
contributing
shows
nothing.
how bad Anthony Milford is in the eyes.
when everyone's when the board, like Darren Lockie's on the board and he's answering whether like he's lost the dressing room, and Kevy's answering whether he's lost the dressing room, and then JT was asked if he reckons Kevy's lost the dressing room.
Yeah.
So the dressing room's gone.
Yeah.
Because where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
So it's gone.
But
Kevy
to
needs-
be
Kevy
fair,
Eichen,
to be
Benny Eichen head of football. I don't think that changes the thing.
all I'm thinking is Benny Eichen. Who's his wife? Wayne Bennett's daughter. I think
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Wayne Bennett. I reckon he's gonna go.
Nah, Wayne Bennett would have been the head of football at Broncos. So Wayne's not going back to Brisbane. I reckon Wayne's going to retire.
Or I reckon he takes a year off and goes to that new club in Queensland.
Yeah, could do. Broncos, I think on paper they're getting worse. I think their performances have got incrementally better besides this one in the last couple of weeks. But I think when you bring in a lot of young players who everyone feels like you need to play well, otherwise you can get the chop 1 week. So that could be why people are seeing a bit more effort.
Yeah, I was thinking, should Kevy go? we're sticking with these 17 no matter what happens for the rest of the season, or I was thinking that could be a good option, but then you sort of eliminate others trying to break into the team and actually working hard, because what's the point if you're not going to get picked? So I don't know if that could be the go, but yeah, they definitely need to change something. I mean, like they beat the Roosters and you just think that's their season turned around, and since then it's just been
I
downhill.
think Adam
really.
Reynolds would do wonders.
I don't think it's a solution.
I think
they need
it's
it.
definitely a solution.
It's an improvement.
Well, I think it's interesting if you're going to go Adam Reynolds, and you may as well go the
Sean
Sean
Johnson,
you may as well go the Sean
Just
Johnson. You
chuck
may
the cash at
as
him.
well get the most experienced
Yeah.
on the market players you can. So
Yeah.
Josh Hodgson, Sean Johnson,
Yeah.
and then probably the only one you keep is Tessie New in the spine.
I'm not across it that much, but I believe Broncos have some cash to.
Oh, they do.
Throw
They have
out.
a bit more cash.
Well, they're trying to get lodged to the Warriors now.
I'd imagine Jaden Till.
That'd be
Jaden Sill will go back. No way.
I
He
mean-
left, mate.
Yeah, but he's out of favourite.
Yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah,
I think if he wants to have like a good, successful rep career, he's no state rabbits at the moment.
I think he's already like cemented.
But
like
on the
Queensland.
game,
Yeah.
standout performances. Cody Walker had a blinder.
Yeah,
And
I think
Gagai.
3
AJ.
try assists. Gagai goes
That left side
pulls
is
on the
very good.
Maroons jumper
Yeah.
for a normal round, club round.
To be fair, Xavier Coates did pull him down. That was a good chase. That was one of the better chases, and he's been dropped for Origin.
Anyone
I don't know how that works.
I don't rate his defence on.
Who's got drop for Origin?
Xavier Coates.
Oh yeah, no. I think it's a bit confusing.
Look,
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
we're not going to win anyway.
What about Latrell Mitchell? Has anyone got concerns over his work rate? 10 runs for 67 metres.
But we've been saying this for people saying work rate for a long time. He's not that type of fullback. Like he's not that type.
Well,
of fullback.
that's just the fact he's not bringing the ball off his own line.
I don't mind it. I don't mind that from Latrell now, because we know what he's capable of, regardless of work rate. So I think the lower the work rate doesn't mean anything, because when he went to fullback, we thought he wouldn't have the work rate, and he hasn't. But he's sort of developed the position and developed the game, like so he can play fullback differently and play it the way he wants to play it, instead of trying to play it how Tedesco plays, for example. So I don't mind it.
That's finding interesting. Like, obviously his output's great.
Yeah.
But it could be better in some areas. Like in the areas where like you make your highlight reel, it's awesome.
Yep.
But no one's highlight reel is them running off the back fence.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
I'd personally like to see him be taking more runs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the difference between him and Trbojevic at the moment. I mean, they're both fantastic.
Breaking news.
What?
Hooney has been ruled out of the Olympics
Why?
Why?
because of his fight with Gow. Gow wasn't lying. That's all I'm saying.
What do you mean?
Cal wasn't lying. I just saw that message.
Wait, what happened with it?
Gow in his press conference was like, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure Hooney doesn't go to the Olympics. Even though
Well, why is he not going though?
I don't know. He must have had some damage after Gow.
Why?
Nah, 100%. I reckon some COVID restriction thing.
That's cap. All right, anyways,
Anyway.
yeah, 0 to 46. So Brisbane go back.
Breaking news. Like, we're going to post it now.
Brisbane go back to the drawing board again,
Yeah.
and it just sounds like it's getting worse. Solution Wayne Bennett. Solution Paul Green. Not a lot of other coaches on the market.
I think
John
you
Morris.
just got to give Kebby some time. I think he's.
Oh, I don't rate Kevy.
I mean, you
Apparently
can't-
micromanagers. I mean, Corey Oates isn't playing. Corey Oates is a premier winger for several years and just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, but that wasn't. He dropped off before Kebby came.
The
in.
year before Kevy
Yeah.
came. So clearly, like, there's something wrong. That's a bit bizarre. That's what has happened with a lot of their players as well.
Yeah. Anyway, move on to the next game. Cowboys Sharks. That was a
good
very good game. Dubious call in that last thing. I know Strongy says that call was good, but
Call was fine. Reece Robson getting binned.
the bin,
Yeah.
Bro,
the one that everyone was blowing up about,
Yeah, I don't get why people are blowing up about it
because
at all.
he fell into. He couldn't go lower. He was.
Mate, he didn't even have to tackle the bloke.
Yeah, but it's not. It was ruled. There were so many of those across the weekend, and they all got binned. So you
Yeah,
can't-
not that.
So you're saying that if a bloke's in a tackle and then his head's falling, that you should be able to just drop a shoulder in?
No, I'm saying is that he's the fact that he's already committed to the tackle as second man in, and then he starts falling. Like,
There's no reason for him to be involved in the tackle.
Why not? What? So you're saying
there didn't even need to be a second man in the tackle. He was going to ground.
Well, that doesn't make any... Like, you could easily say that every tackle is a one-man tackle. Just for that reason.
Every tackle is not a one-man tackle. I assure you I can't chop TPJ 5 minutes out from the line. Probably need help.
Yeah, exactly. That's what... Like, but you can't stop him when he's already committed to go in. Like, that... And then when he's coming in... Like, penalty's fine. I can live with a penalty, but he physically can't go lower. Like, with his shoulder.
Yeah, he didn't need to go lower. No, he didn't need to go lower, mate. He just didn't need to make the tackle there. He could have easily swung around and then gone down on his legs and then still had a dominant position on him.
The thing is, like, reaction time, and they got a split second to make that decision.
You don't have a split second.
No, that was a split second.
It's not 1,000 miles an hour.
In my opinion, a sin binning should be for, like, malicious.
Yeah, malicious,
act.
yeah.
Is that the word?
Like, anything where it's a swinging arm, even, like, if it's not even... I was in the Roosters Penrith game. I think it was
Takiaho.
Yeah, and
Takiaho is just unlucky though.
Yeah, not that he got sin bin for that.
But
But
you say it's malicious?
No,
it doesn't have to be malicious.
I know, but that's what I'm.
There was one before on Nathan Cleary where I think it was Fletcher Baker put him with a swinging arm, but like didn't get him like really high and got it there like there. I'd be happy to see that one sin bin because there's like that's a swinging arm. That's actually dangerous.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't actually contact with the head.
I think the Reece Robson one and the Takiaho one was like chest to head.
Yeah.
Well, the Takiaho one, I think, is just unlucky. Like Nathan Cleary loses his footing. Takiaho is still standing completely upright.
Although it's consistently binned, you would argue it shouldn't be binned.
Well, no, I wouldn't say it shouldn't be binned. I just should say it's unlucky. Like you got to protect the person with the ball most importantly. So they've done the right thing.
That affected, like realistically, that sort of took the game away from the Roosters when you watch it. That was such a good game.
Doesn't matter if it takes the game away from the Roosters. I don't know why we're making like this.
Would you want someone who's got unlucky to cause that a cracker of a game that was going to be take away because Panthers score 20 points in the next?
I don't know. I think just in reality, like you never train like 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5 unless you're doing like match sim.
You do.
Like you should be used to like having to work as a man down defensively.
Yeah, but it's obviously
it's not ideal.
It's a massive
it's a big advantage,
especially with
I don't. Obviously, it has an impact on the game, but like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that being called as a sin bin. I wouldn't want him suspended because it's obviously an accident.
I'd rather he gets suspended and just put on report because suspended does nothing to the game.
Well, if it was malicious and it was intentional, then you should miss games.
That's what I'm like. I'd rather someone get put on report and then get done after.
Yeah, if it's malicious, if there's a bad intent there, but Takiaho's is an accident, so then it should only impede on the game. It shouldn't impede.
No, it shouldn't impede on anything because it was.
Well, it should. He
should just get a penalty.
He hit him high. Like at the end of the day,
yeah, a penalty. I'm saying a penalty, but not a sin bin. You can't.
Well, what if Nathan Cleary goes off for the HIA and then misses 10 minutes, and then basically
like you're saying about Takiaho, that's just unlucky on Nathan Cleary's part. Then
so then it should happen to both sides.
Yeah, but Nathan Cleary didn't go off.
If he gets HIA'd, it should be a sin.
Yeah, but Nathan Cleary didn't go off.
Like players aren't going to milk getting. Cleary's not going to milk getting HIA when he's their best player. If he gets HIA,
then it's all fine with it, but Nathan Cleary didn't get HIA. Yeah. He just got back up.
Right, back to the Sharks game.
Yeah.
Johnson.
Big calls there.
Johnson, he's back in form.
Bit of a freak out.
After he's been told that he's not wanted.
Yep.
Bit of value in that, being truthful to your players.
Oh, and Aaron Woods.
Giving them some direction of knowing what their future lies in the club. I think we're seeing Woodsy and Johnson.
I'm confused with the Woodsy call.
What?
He's been putting in good numbers like last year.
Yeah, but
on the weekend, 157 meters.
I think I've got a suspicion that Fitzy's going to bring a few players over from Chookies.
Oh, we've all got. I don't think they've got much front row depth. I mean, I think Woods has been really good the last 12 months.
Yeah, I mean,
I was surprised by that, and the fact they brought Aiden Tolman over from the Doggies and then released Woodsy, and I think they're both like
similar.
Yeah, they're very similar, but I think Woodsy's in better form. I would have kept both really, unless they've got some freaks and juniors coming through, which I'd probably do with the Sharks. It was a cracking game though.
Yeah, that was a good game. We touched on Penrith Roosters. I mean, Penrith's back to winning ways. Nathan
Cleary.
He's just a bit good. Yeah. Just a bit good. I mean, Roosters did start well, but game sort of fell away for them in that second half as well. So interesting. Good to see Penrith. I mean, sort of all right to see Penrith back to winning ways, I guess, after a bit of a unlucky slump.
Yeah. Does anyone actually think that Brock Lamb is... Oh, Lock Lamb, not Brock. Lachlan Lamb is the long-term 6 for the Roosters?
No, it'd be Kiri and Sam Walker. Most likely.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be...
But Lachlan Lamb, like, he's a good fill-in half.
Yeah, like, you're not complaining,
A lot of teams would...
So you think it's
beg
going
to
to
have
be... Do you reckon
Lachlan-
Walker will go play 7 and Kiri will play 6?
For sure.
Or
Because Kiri...
Or the other way. They both have the capabilities to play for.
I think for Kiri it's different. I don't... Like, Kiri's obviously a game manager, but I feel like he's not, like, the leader that Cronk was on the field. As a comparison between, like, the 7s. Because Kiri's obviously touted as, like, the 7 now.
Yeah.
The idea was he's going to play 7 once Cronk goes, but, like, is he actually? Because Sam Walker's there, so who's going to be the one that actually leads the team?
Yeah, well, they could...
I think.
Could be like a domination of sides. One could dominate the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't mind. It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
It's going to be Walker,
Kiri for sure.
Yeah.
That's the long term.
What takeaways? JFH, arguably the best prop in the comp.
Yeah.
194 metres again. Yeah, what he was putting in while the team lost as well. He was really good against the Tigers.
You've seen the difference Isaiah Yeo has on that Penrith side. I think he's still underrated. Honestly.
Yeah, I can back that.
I think he's getting into a top 3 lock in the game sort of.
I mean, he's up. He's definitely already up there.
He's sort of like the Victor Radley for the Roosters, where you see.
I'd still take Victor over him.
You don't respect him. You don't respect what they do until they're not on the field.
Yeah.
You saw Penrith.
Yep.
Even though they had heaps of players out, I think the ball playing Isaiah Yeo has on that side is.
I want to see consistency from Victor though. Like that's the only that's definitely the knock on the shoulder. For him, is that like he's not consistent. Obviously the ACL doesn't help, and then this season, I want to see Victor play like a good year and a half of really consistent footy before I go like he's a lock for lock.
No, but
New South Wales, for example.
You're picking New South Wales, both Radley and Yeo are fit. Who you taking at lock?
Well, if Gerbo's fit, I'd still take Gerbo.
No, I can't take Gerbo. I'd take Radley, I reckon.
I think Radley was like guaranteed the spot.
Yeah, no, I think he was guaranteed, but I think that's more. I think that's more because Victor can only play 13 and Jake can play both. I don't think it's. I think it was more to fit both in the team.
And then Radley on the bench. I think Yeo's a bit more. I think Radley has more of an impact.
Yeah, Radley.
Right.
Radley early. Radley that first 20 minutes. I think with all 3 of them, Jake's barely going to play 13 for a while. But I reckon there's more. Like he's probably still the 13. He'd be my pick.
You still got Cam Murray there.
Cam Murray
was insane on.
Right. That's probably the best game I've seen Cam Murray play.
Yeah.
Cam Murray pulls out a blinder so often. Joey Manu at 6.
I don't mind. Like,
he's just good. Do we think there's going to be a shift for Joey Manu to the spine?
No. He's a 4. Like he's a good 6, but he's a
not 6 as a 1. I reckon would be the switch.
1.
He's played fullback for them a lot.
Yeah, but like he's not going to move club.
There's talk that you could eventually because he'd earn way more money. He'd earn realistically, he'd probably earn like 300k more if he went and played spine for another club. But I think he's got the ability.
The only club I could see him playing is Warriors. I don't see him going anywhere else.
Or Reece is at fullback now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
I think a lot of clubs would be interested.
Maybe
if he was interested.
Who knows? Nice to be Warriors. Talking about Warriors, that was a gritty game.
Very windy.
Jay Brayley, his nickname. He's calling himself around night training Scotty Sattler. After that tackle on Reece Walsh. That was a good tackle. That was a very good tackle.
We have talked about for so long. Mitch Pearce comes back and they win.
He's very good. Yeah.
He's clearly important.
To be fair, I think Jay Clifford played also very well.
I think it was Minnie's call where Pearce's off the field influence. It translates on the field as well.
Clearly. No, but those kicks that Clifford was doing in that second half.
Yeah, putting the bombs up. Yeah.
I think the wind didn't help. It was
just
and windy.
Howling window.
Yeah.
It was a good game to watch.
Yeah.
Intense.
What do we think about it? Like, where do we have those teams?
I don't
still?
see. I personally
7th and 8th is Sharks and Cronulla.
Yeah, I had Sharks and
at 7th and 8th. No, Sharks and Dragons are 7th and 8th.
It's
and the Dragons were
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I would have said Warriors and Cowboys were my 7 and 8.
Yeah,
Now it's just switched completely. I've got no
some
Sharks
of
are settling
after the Tigers got daddy dicked, everyone just ruled them out.
Yeah,
I think their run home's really easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's what a run.
Tigers, they're
It's
probably not in as bad a boat as the Broncos are, but they're like I'd
They're
prefer to be in the Bulldogs.
Like going
situation
in.
They're the worst of the best, if you know what I mean.
Going into the Para game, we
Yeah.
were like 4 from 5.
Yeah,
So we were
Yeah.
in playing good
Probably-
footy, and then we got the fucking runner,
Don't-
like
don't you
obviously
have-
Panthers,
I think
Storm,
yeah,
Para, South. So we got South next week, and then Manly after that,
yeah.
which is post Origin. So, and then it gets a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I think it's tight. What do we think? Knights, Warriors, in or out of the 8?
I don't think Knights make it.
Warriors.
I
don't-
reckon Knights will make the 8.
You think Knights will make it?
When they got Palmer back as well.
For some
they'll
reason,
make
I
a
just
push.
still feel Dragons are just going to somehow just keep winning somehow, and then they'll just slip in.
I think it'll be Sharks and Knights.
Sharks and Knights. Fair enough. I almost ruled out Sharkies after Johnny Morris left. And then
What do you think about Kurt Mann going to fullback? He's kind of been shafted here.
Kurt Mann.
he's a miss to do anything, really.
Not to hate on him, but I don't think he played well.
But yeah,
There were a
he's
few costly mistakes that led to
opportunities for
like the
Roos.
UNA can try.
Yeah.
Kurt Mann.
Well, Tex Hoy was dropped from fullback.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not. I mean, you can't really blame Kurt
Kurt
Mann.
Mann, yeah, but Kurt Mann, like, although he didn't play the best game, he's great value to have at your club.
Yeah, for sure. Next game, Dragons Raiders.
Oh,
I was so confused. I turned off with 15 minutes ago, thinking, yeah, Raiders. Got someone on the bag. Tyrell Sloan on debut.
Yep.
Massive game. Little chip and chase into a try. Very good from him.
Ben Hunt game of the year for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
played a
he's-
blinder, 2 offloads, 1 try assist, 5 tackle breaks.
Could use
2
that for
line break
Queensland,
assists.
Drop cherry, put Hunt straight in.
He's playing 9.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like.
McCulloch not playing 9.
No,
No,
McCulloch's playing
playing
9, but Hunt's on the bench.
14.
So
I like Hunt. I would
rate
like Hunt.
McCulloch.
You're right,
I
McCulloch.
was still confused why he got
Let go.
let go by the Broncos, and
Yeah,
then
I
why
mean-
he lost his Queensland
Yeah.
spot. Obviously, form,
Well,
in rep, but he's
compared-
been really good at the Dragons.
When did he get?
I don't know if
Okay.
it was a
Okay.
Dragons talking point, but McCulloch played the wind really well in that game. I know,
That Benny Hunt one was
Yeah.
cooked.
I know Raiders played when they had the wind going with them in the first half.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything with it, and I saw McCulloch first set of the second half when they had the wind, tackle 3 kick for 40-20,
Yeah,
and he just nudged it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then just took it
Took it.
40-20.
Yeah,
From there on, I was like, this is going to be a game.
yeah, for sure.
Corey Norman played well. Another bloke playing well once they've been told they're not wanted.
Yeah,
Conspiracy.
Someone in the chat when Corey Norman's been awful. This game, I'm like, what game are you watching?
Oh, no. I said...
Oh, you said it.
I said that's why Corey Norman's been let go when the CHN try where he just
Oh, right. I was like,
turnstileded him. But
yeah.
Corey
See,
Norman had a good game.
Yeah.
that's what I find odd is the McCulloch Hunt Norman spine's actually quite
that's good.
good.
That's
Yeah,
a
well,
representative
there's
size.
When they're playing well in the 7th, I don't understand the tap on the shoulder to Norman. People still think Norman's
I rate him.
got gun footy in him.
Yeah.
And he
But-
clearly does.
but-
It's just not consistent.
Griffin's working his magic. Tell your players
Griffo.
they're not wanted and they
And they turn up. Hey,
So-
that's the way we go. He's going to have no one playing at the end of the season.
Soon Mitchy Moses and Guth are going to be told, hey, you're not wanted.
Yeah,
well,
they'll
they'll-
be in
they'll be
contention
playing
for the
blinders.
Dally M.
Yeah.
What do you think? I thought Canberra looked like deer in headlights in the last 20
I
minutes.
don't know what happened there.
No one took control of the game.
It's
There was no
their
leadership.
second half gibberies. they've got.
Again.
Gibberies.
Yeah, the worst second half team in
The
NRL
Brisbane of
history.
last year.
And it's so un-Ricky, honestly. Such an un-Ricky Stewart sort of team. to
Oh
be
yeah,
losing.
it's so unricky.
Yeah.
It is very unricky. It's not what you'd think.
not unlucky, it's unreal.
Un-Ricky.
It's unricky. So yeah, dressing room
Yeah, don't know
gone.
what's going on.
I do like the young players they've got though. I think Tomoko and Chris and Valamy and
Yeah,
Simonson
they're solid.
are all good. And then their forward packs on the older side, but a lot of them should be in their prime.
Yeah.
Then you got young guns like Hudson Young and stuff. And
Tell you what,
Sutton and
Their team's
I tell you
on
what,
paper's top 8.
Xavier Savage, quickest NRL player,
NRL
in the
player
game.
of all time.
Oh, I saw his 100-metre sprint. He ran sub 11.
Yeah,
which
he's
is
national.
You reckon he's quicker than Fox?
and
Oh
sub.
yeah, not even.
No, but not with the ball, it's different. You know what I mean? Slightly different.
Well,
you
you
know
just
what I mean?
Running sub 11's a little bit different.
Yeah,
I reckon Fox could run sub 11.
Yeah, but this is
This
under
guy's like
18s.
under 18s, like
This is
national
at-
champs.
yeah,
Like
This
he's
is
one of the
18s.
he's like one of the
19 now.
quickest sprinters in Australia.
That's
Shafted
savage.
with the debut.
yeah. But he was just
Savage
happy to be
debut.
there though. Little shout out to him. He got on
Yeah.
for 12 minutes, and they're like, "Oh,
We made a mistake.
We made a mistake."
Yeah, good on him.
Good.
Oh, I love it, Debbie Tom.
Here is why the viewers have clicked to listen to this review. Storm v Tigers.
Yeah.
This is why the viewers have clicked on.
Let's hear what the Nuffy has to say. Tell us what Storm did that was so good. Break
They
down.
were just
the game
clinical.
for us.
Like they didn't make
no,
mistakes.
why? What did they do?
What didn't they do? Is basically.
Like why?
Yeah,
did
I want Johnny to give his analysis on Storm to prove he's not a Nuffy.
I know they just break down the middle really well, and they played through the middle, and then obviously once you start playing through the middle, then it creates opportunities on the edge, like
I
they
think-
did, and they can play early to the edge.
I think Storm.
Yes or no?
Storm
Yeah.
at the start sort of. They sort of went against their normal system and just played really eyes up rugby league
Yeah,
football.
Yeah.
And
when you start
that-
when you bring in
I
Harry
think
Grant
that
and Brandon
brought
Smith,
a shock into the Tigers
Kickies.
team.
Yeah.
We saw on like tackle 5, they're just like going through the hands. And
Yeah.
then Brandon Smith was having a field day out at dummy half. Yeah, it was just
it was just a joy
It
to
was
watch.
just
the
fucked.
first 20 minutes.
It was joy to
No,
watch.
like literally.
The NRL is fucked though. Now they're going, we'll make the winning team kick
Okay.
off.
You know, I was thinking, like,
There's a problem.
I was thinking in economics when they start making rule conditions for the competitors to make it easier by making rules for them, doesn't it lowers the product in like economics theory? It's like the same thing that's happened here. We've put in 60 and we've put in all these rules. Well, obviously it will close the gap, but it's closing it the wrong way by punishing better teams instead of trying to build the product. Is
Punishing, it's good for the better teams.
what?
Si-
Kicking off once you score.
no, 6 again.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it decreases the product because in theory the gap should be better because you get faster footy, but it just makes it separate because better teams getting better and worse teams getting worse.
Yeah.
And then once you put in this kickoff thing, I think it's just they just need to stop.
They were they were big blowouts again.
Yeah.
46 point win, 26 points,
Yeah.
50, 26, 32.
I think
it's not
especially
enticing.
Yeah,
It's not enticing.
it's-
People are saying it's
yeah.
like exciting, like on 360, they're saying it's exciting. It's like, it's not.
it's not.
It's really not.
I'd rather
enjoyable.
go
Not
back.
as a Tigers fan.
I would
Why?
rather.
Not
Don't you?
exciting.
I know.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
rather
boring.
go back to 2018 or 20 where the games were low scoring, but they were close. Every
Yeah.
game you could like Storm Roosters for a good 3 years there. There was 2 points between every game. Then they were like 10-8s and 16-12s, like whatever,
Yeah,
16-14s.
but
There were two
statistically, you can't draw conclusions yet.
You can.
I don't reckon you can.
Okay, well, put it this way: there's two games on the weekend,
What's it
which
to
would have
say,
stood
just-
out. There were two games which would have stood
Manly.
out as top four contenders, essentially going into the season between top 8 contenders.
Yeah.
and in both those games, a half was won by more than 40 points, with
yeah.
one team not scoring at all.
It's
so there's clearly a problem.
It's
with,
really hard.
like,
I
the
think
game.
once you get 6 against put again or whatever, it's really hard to wrestle back momentum. I think it's not as easy as it was before, where you can sort of kick to corners, just kick the ball out, and then you can sort of wrestle back momentum a little bit. But this one, you kick out, the game just keeps going at you.
I think 6 again's created like a huge problem with the correlation between possession and territory as well.
for sure, yeah.
So like before, obviously possession's king. Possession's
Yeah.
always king, but now you're getting possession and you're getting like the territory
with
is
it,
huge.
yeah.
So like you get a team's okay to give away a 6 again on first tackle when team's 10 metres out.
Yeah.
Usually that's a penalty and you can kick. And
Yeah.
now look, you're on your 40.
Yeah.
And then you can put like I think that was the problem I had with the rules
Yeah.
originally, is that you don't get the option on what you want to do. It's just like touch
It's
footy,
6,
like it's just
yeah.
play on.
Yeah.
That doesn't help teams.
No, I 100% agree with that. Like I think it's just making the gap bigger, like
Yeah.
unnecessarily.
Because the Titans especially, I would say, it's not a 32-point gap or a 48-0 half gap
Yeah.
between them and the Sea Eagles.
Yeah, then it's definitely not. But it's how the game is, and can't really argue much.
But the Tigers were shithouse.
Yeah, there's some changes.
Shout out to Kenny Marmolo playing Storm 2 weeks in a row. Get enrolled 2 weeks.
102 points against
But
them.
you guys would be surprised that people still blame Luke Brooks for the Tigers losing the Storm. Oh, it's fucking ridiculous. He made 100% of his tackles as well.
I made a lot of them as well, didn't he? Your boys? Bit disappointing first half, but they turned up. They
I
turned
don't
up.
know. Yeah, I think.
Oh, you could say Dogs played all right.
Yeah, and the attack was pretty lateral in the first half.
Yeah.
Straightening up in the second half, which is good. Shout out to Sean Russell,
Shawnee,
Two tries on
double
debut.
debut.
Yeah.
Doesn't get better
Love
than
to
that.
see it.
good mate with Jake Arthur, Brad Arthur's son.
I thought you were going to say yourself.
No.
Hey, little connection here. Get him on the body.
Just I think the end result was what was expected.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. First half, what's there to say?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Dogs,
I
you
think
can give
it's
credit to
I
some
think
dogs
it's
there.
kind of interesting, like ladder-wise, Storm Para second, third versus Tiger, and then Bulldogs and Tigers like 15th, 14th at the moment.
It just shows.
And the comparison in the way the games were played. I think it's just a comparison. Like Storm was so clinical, Rabbits was super clinical, and then Para struggled to get going. Obviously, they get away with the win, but you can't. Like a top 4-side premiership contender needs to be a bit more convincing in the first 40 minutes of a game.
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting. Parramatta have got the most tries off kicks.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's
Oh,
it's a
well,
stat.
Pointless
Moses-
stats. How good.
Mitch Moses is probably underrated as like one of the best kickers
He's a good
in the
kicker.
game.
For sure. But doesn't make you the best halfback.
Dylan Brown, we've noticed how
Influential.
crucial, lucky.
Good.
People,
He settles
people don't
Mitchie
rate
a
him.
bit.
I think he's
I rate
just
him.
I think he's
crucial
gone,
to our
yeah.
team.
I rate him.
I think that combo,
Yeah.
that combo is
Yeah.
a real long-term combo.
say.
Works well together.
It's all right. We can. Can we be bothered to put another camera on?
No.
Let's
Yeah.
just wrap it up. We got one more game.
But 2 points is 2 points.
2 points
Move
is
Penrith this week. Not this week. Round 16.
Round 16, yeah.
Whenever that is.
That'll be-
5 days after Origin, which will be interesting.
Hey, at least you boys don't have too many players playing Origin.
Yeah, and lose one.
Yep.
Which is, I think, personally, which is a joke. I reckon I should have had 2 or 3. Not like Reid Marnie.
Yeah,
even though he's injured, and I would have had one of RCG or Nathan Brown. I thought RCG was
Nah.
why change
Colossus.
something? Why change something that's already bloody good?
There's
Well-
too many like good middle forwards. Like RCG's a gun middle forward, but like Payne Haas and Saifidi
Yeah.
and Turbo just better middle forwards.
Yeah.
Anyway,
RCG's a bit lazy. Well,
oh,
in defense.
you tell him.
But his minutes,
You tell him, Strongy.
I think his minutes are very high.
Say it, baby. All right, 56-24. Tommy Turbo show.
Game of 2 halves.
Bloody hell!
Yeah,
How
another
like,
game of two halves.
the thing, Tommy Turbo, he's great attacking, but he's taking like 20 hit ups from his own line. It's cooked how good he is. Like it's so cooked. I think right now for me it's Tommy over Cleary at the moment.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah, I reckon.
Tommy's great. Tommy's awesome.
great.
I reckon.
There's
Is
a-
Tommy
there's
going to win a
debate for
premiership?
both.
Is Tommy
Oh, no,
going to win
it's
a
a joke that-
premiership?
There's someone like I was hearing talk like Tommy Turbo's going to be an immortal.
What do you mean? I reckon we could have like 3 immortals in
I don't
this
reckon
decade
Tommy
of
Turbo-
players.
The only reason I don't reckon Tommy Turbo's going to be an immortal because he's not going to win a premiership.
Oh, he's going to win. I reckon he'll win 2 or 3
With who? Manly.
with Manly.
I think
Is he
Manly.
coming over to Paris?
You don't reckon Manly? I reckon
No, I
Manly
don't
win a
reckon Manly
premiership with
can-
him, Jake, Schuster.
No,
Pretty good.
I think that's
Pretty good. The problem Manly have is salary cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, every-
payovers.
yeah. I mean, when you look at Manly and you say those players, can you think those players can beat Penrith and Melbourne?
Do I think
9
their
out of
best
10?
17 can beat Penrith and Melbourne?
Can a 9
Yes.
out of over 10 games? Do you think they're beating them on score like 6-4, 7-3? They're not. 9 out of 10.
Oh,
games, I
their
reckon.
best 17 will, possibly. Their
Nah.
best 17 on paper, you got to look. They haven't had it all year. They still haven't got it. Their best 17. Their best 17 is
close.
really good.
They're very close.
Yeah, but it's no Melbourne and Penrith. Like the next 3 or 4 years, I only can see Melbourne Penrith at the moment, unless some signings are being made, because they're just head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yeah, we say that, but that like if it's only Melbourne Penrith the next 4 years, like I would be so surprised. I'd say it's 101 odds.
No, like
They're the only teams that win premierships in the next 4 years.
good.
So that would be 5 years of only 2 teams winning. I don't think.
Yeah, but that's like Roosters and Storm over the last 5 years.
who won
2016
16.
Sharks won, but Melbourne was in that grand final.
Yeah, but they lost.
Yeah,
So it's okay. It's a big call still.
17, 18. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because especially when you've got
You just assume.
Souths, Manly, and Para
Yeah, I was,
in the mix there.
And then Titans now with all their signings. And I still think Knights.
Titans
No.
are not
no.
close to any appearance.
They're close to a top 4, but not to a premiership. Anyway, we're sold.
Origin predictions.
Oh, Chuckers.
Oh, we already did.
we've already
done them.
Yeah, we've already done them, eh?
Chuckers
chucking in your
multi.
New South Wales 13 plus. Italy to win the Euros. Woo! And Latrell Mitchell and Tom Trbojevic anytime.
And what's that?
I haven't done it,
How good were my tips for Origin?
I cannot remember.
No, just
Anyway,
talking
I'm going
about
to sign off
centres.
and then we can chat about this after.
I'm gonna check what the hell this is right now because
I'll put it on screen for you guys. Don't worry about that. That was a good session, boys.
Good potty.
Thanks for Mini for jumping on.
Yeah, shout out to Mini. Good
Shout out
bloke.
Mini. He is very good.
Best looking man in rugby league 2006. Or finalist.
Finalist.
Don't know
No,
who
no
took
Craig
it
Wing. No Craig Wing.
no Craig Wing.
Did Craig Wing win it?
I must have. It sure is Craig Wing.
Oh, it could be Benji Marshall. 06. Kid from Keybra.
All right, we're going to stop it there.